The two key equity benchmarks, Sensex and Nifty, on Thursday, declined drastically amid high volatility after a positive start in early morning trade, a day after the U.S. Federal Reserve hiked interest rates by 75 basic points. The indices declined for the fifth straight session as fears of the recession hit investors' sentiment globally. The BSE Sensex eventually decreased by 1,045 points to 51,495, while the broader NSE Nifty closed at 15,360, and decreased by 331 points. The rupee gained by 15 paise to 78.07 against the US dollar in opening trade on Thursday after the US Federal Reserve hiked the interest rate by 75 basis points to fight inflation. At the interbank foreign exchange, the rupee opened strong at 78.06 against the US dollar, then inched lower to quote 78.07 and registered a rise of 15 paise over the last close. Indian Overseas Bank on Wednesday said its board has approved raising of up to 1,000 crore rupees equity capital through the issuance of shares via various modes. The board approved the capital plan of the bank for 22-23, IOB said in a regulatory filing. ITC's share price gained higher intraday on June 16 after Motilal Oswal upgraded the stock to buy from neutral. The domestic research and broking firm have a target of 335 rupees per share, an upside of 27%. The stock of a diversified fast-moving consumer goods company had hit a 52-week high of 282 rupees on May 20, 2022, and touched a record high of 353 rupees on July 3, 2017. Gold prices in India were trading 0.5% up on Thursday. On multi-commodity exchange, gold August futures were trading 231 rupees as 0.5% up at 50,669 rupees per 10 gram, as against the previous close of 50,438 rupees, while silver July futures were up at 61,139 rupees per kilogram, gaining 442 rupees or 0.7% on MCX. Ministry of Finance on Thursday said that the 47th meeting of the Goods and Services Council will be held on June 28-29, 2022 in Srinagar. The Twitter handle of Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman shared the information on Thursday. The GST Council comprises Union Finance Minister and Finance Ministers from the states are likely to discuss the group of ministers' interim report on rate rationalization among other things. Besides, the GST implementation will also be completed for 5 years on July 1, 2022. According to news reports, the compensation issue will likely be taken up in the meeting as many non-BJP states are pressing for the extension of the GST compensation mechanism for beyond 5 years ending in June 2022. India's largest housing finance company HDFC acquires an 8.42% stake in Ansal Housing by invoking 50 lakh pledged shares. In an exchange filing, HDFC said, for the purpose of recovery of part outstanding dues against loans availed by certain pledger, the corporation on June 15, 2022, invoked the pledge on 5 million shares of Ansal Housing Limited aggregating 8.42% of its paid-up share capital, pledged with the corporation by the borrower. RBI allows MasterCard to onboard new customers in India. The restrictions were put in place because of the company's failure to comply with local data storage norms that require payments companies to store data related to Indian customers only in the country. In view of the satisfactory compliance demonstrated by MasterCard Asia Pacific Private Limited, the restrictions imposed on onboarding of new domestic customers have been lifted with immediate effect, RBI said on Thursday. Officials of India and Japan met in New Delhi on Thursday to discuss financial cooperation and agree to work closely on multilateral forums like G20 and G7. Japan's Vice Minister of Finance for International Affairs Masato Kanda led the Japanese side at the talk, while India's side was led by Ajay Seth, Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. This was the first India-Japan finance meeting. Capital markets regulator SEBI has formed a building advisory committee, which will advise and assist it in all the premises-related matters such as planning, acquisition, and furnishing. The 7-member committee will be headed by B.K. Kachil, former Chief General Manager at the Reserve Bank of India.